Yo, welcome to another Reach Training podcast. As always, I'm your host, co-host, whatever you want to call it, Stephen Hammer. We got Greg Roberts. Unfortunately, we're missing Brandon Butler. So all the single ladies out there, he'll be back next time. I apologize. But today we got a very special guest and former NFL everything, Brad Smith, right? And so we wanted to bring Brad on the show and just chop it up. We're going to go through football, his life, and kind of what he's doing now. He's got some really, really cool things going on. And I actually only met Brad like a month ago or so. I'll let him talk here in a second. But we met like a month or so ago. I was assessing his son, who's a young quarterback. And we just got to talking, and a lot of things that we do and that he does kind of just aligned. And so we met a few times from there, and him and Greg started chopping it up, some former NFL guys, and now we're here. And so, Brad, welcome to the one of the most anticipated podcasts, each week, the Reach Training Podcast. I think we've got like 8 or 9 viewers now. So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, really coming
pushing
up
10, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing major, but don't get nervous.
I am.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for this. But
Yeah, well, this is, we'll ease you in, obviously.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got your back.
We'll take care of you, bro. We never.
I'm sure you
Don't
will.
want to throw you in the water. Brandon's not here either, so that just makes things roll a lot smoothly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's all Brandon's.
Just kidding, B. We apologize. But, Brad, why don't you just take maybe like 2 minutes and just give a quick rundown of just kind of who you are for everyone that doesn't know, and then we'll kind of jump into it.
Yeah, I always hate talking about myself, but my name is Brad Smith. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio.
Yep.
The great state of Ohio.
Let's go.
Youngstown Cheney High School, to be exact. Got recruited by the University of Missouri. Ended up playing there for 4 years. Well, I redshirted my first year, but playing on the field for 4 years, playing quarterback there. I got drafted by the New York Jets in 2006 draft, 4th round, and there I was, went from completely quarterback to, playing multiple positions, including quarterback and special teams and all that kind of stuff. I left as a free agent after 5 years there. Went to Buffalo as a free agent, then left there, got hurt, and signed with Philly and finished my career there for 2 years. Now we're in Austin, Texas with my wife, who was born and raised here, and moved back and just, loving life,
Yep.
Spending time with the kids and family and, doing some things to help young people out, something we've always done throughout our career, and we're just keeping it going.
Yeah. What a humble guy, by the way.
know, man.
I mean,
Way to
and
downplay, bro.
wife, former LBJ Jaguar.
Jaguar,
Yeah,
the Science Academy.
Hey, we
let's
do
go.
we do some stuff with LBJ. So
Shout out to
Yeah.
LBJ.
yeah, shout out to LBJ.
I guess they're all right.
Ain't got nothing on Youngstown.
No, I'm just saying, man.
Yeah.
Texas or Ohio? Which one?
Oh yeah, Texas or
It's
Ohio.
not even a debate.
Don't be. Come on.
It's
now.
not a debate.
And you're right, Texas. All
Per
day.
capita.
Per
Per capita.
Really interesting.
Just the level of Texas is great. Like a lot of talent, a lot of great players, a lot of great programs.
Yep, it is the greatest. You're right. Yep.
It's the greatest. Yeah, I mean it might be.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Ohio to me it's just different
That's-
in the way they approach a lot of things. So I'm gonna ride with Ohio
Hey, that's
every
that's
day.
fine.
Of course I would.
Yeah,
live.
that's
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, you can't turn your back.
Yeah,
on
I
it.
can't.
You still go back to Ohio?
Yeah,
You got
we
family
go
Yeah.
very, very often. We work with the high school players there
Okay.
and high schools and work with the kids. And
Yeah.
so, we still very connected there.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, so let's rewind a little bit. So I wanted you to give just a quick background so everyone has a decent idea of, who you are. And you said it in a very humble way. And we'll get into it. But when we tell y'all some of the numbers he put up in college and the NFL, you're going to be like, wow, that guy's a dude. Like before the term dude existed, like he was the dude, right? So let's get into your high school kind of playing days, like, right? Or you can even rewind from there. But I want to talk about just like the football side of things first, but also kind of get into like your upbringing and just kind of just what did a young Brad Smith look like? And then at what point were you like, man, I'm pretty good at playing football? Like before you got to college, at what point were you like, I think there's something there?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot to it, you
Yeah.
know, just being a kid, I was actually born in Indianapolis, Indiana, and then my family moved around. So Indianapolis to Los Angeles,
Okay.
Los Angeles to like Kansas City,
Wow.
Kansas City to Youngstown. When I was all before I was like 6, 7 years old.
Okay.
So, 7 is when we moved to Youngstown, and that became home. Had a lot of family people already there, but that became home. So a lot of the kind of the emotional and single parent home, and if you know anything about Youngstown is not it's rough. Like it's very rough.
Is it a smaller city or a
It's,
bigger?
it's smaller. It used to be one of the bigger ones, like so called the Rust Belt. So Pittsburgh, Youngstown was like almost equivalent to like Pittsburgh as far as like just the steel production and the amount of money in there. And then whenever all those things shut down, like everything just fell off the face of the earth. So I mean, it used to be like a huge place to go to and all that. But so it was rough. It was rough. So growing up, just the emotional part, the environmental part, football became a safe place. Yeah. Safe place to find your identity, to get that energy, that aggression out. My mom would drop my brother and I off. I'm like, hey, do what you need to do with them. Like, they crying, who cares? Like, they need to toughen up.
Right.
So that's what football initially was, and from toughening up to it became fun. Yeah. It became now I can do this. I'm learning how to do it, having some success as a young kid, and then you get to high school. And it was never I wanted to go play in college. Like, that was never a thought. Or the NFL. I was like, I want to go be an NFL player. That was never what I wanted. Like, that wasn't a goal. I didn't set it like having pictures on my wall of all the players I wanted to be like. It was, I love playing the game. Yeah. I love having fun doing it, and just kind of went along that process. So it was never a point where like, oh, I'm good at it. Yeah. I'm going to go do this. It was like, even up till signing day in college, it was like, I had no idea what was going on.
What other schools were you considering besides Mizzou?
Like the MAC school, so Bowling Green,
absolutely.
Toledo, Youngstown State at the time. Yeah. What are other MACs? Akron, Kent State, all those. And then after signed with Missouri, it was like Louisville and West Virginia kind of came.
Bigger schools started coming through a little bit.
But I had already.
Speaking of pictures on the wall, when I was in high school, I actually had a picture of you on my wall.
Oh, okay.
It's off now. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, you took it off?
Yeah. My wife made me take it down a few weeks ago. But in high school, I'd cut up. I'd cut up those Mac.
Check it off the list.
Take him off the list. I got about 99 pictures on the wall. But we'll get to those. Yeah. But yeah, I think you were on maybe the cover of a mag. I'm sure you were. You were on the cover of mag. Those like Athlon Sports or Phil Steele types things. You remember?
Like, I remember a little bit. Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Greg, what point did? Because I wanted to hear, like, when he thought he was like, man, I'm really good, but it just kind of naturally happened. He never really realized it, if that's fair to say, right? Mm-hmm. What point did you realize, man, I got a shot. I'm actually pretty good.
Yeah, I probably was sort of to the tune of Brad. I didn't really think about it. It was more so I didn't know I could go to college for it until you start getting, like, people start calling you. Mm-hmm. I remember my dad telling me I want to go to some camp. My dad was like, if you're good enough, they'll find you. Like, we're not going to camp. And back then, like, you could get away with not, it's a lot different now. But, and then you start getting recruited and, like, I guess I can go to college. And it's like, I don't want to get too far away from home. So then I think I had U of H, I had Duke, and, like, some smaller schools. And then I had the Baylor offer. Yeah. And I was like, I had kind of fudged around in high school a lot, but was good enough, obviously, to get to that next level. And then when I got to college, I feel like I was like, after like my couple years of being there, I was like, I maybe could do this as like a thing, as a job, Yeah. So a little later on, but sort of to his point, I wasn't really necessarily
just
like,
kind of,
I want to do that. And it was different for me. My pops had played in the league, and he was like the kind of player, like he, sort of like how we are now, like you're kind of indifferent towards it. Like I kind of did it, put it to bed, and like opposed to, I seen other parents like really like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like sometimes you can kind of get that love of it from your parents. And my dad was more like, hands off. It's your world, so you do what you want to do. You ain't got to do what I did. So it wasn't really ever. It was just kind of like that's what you do, Yeah.
That's cool.
So Mizzou, was your coach Gary Pinkel?
Gary Pinkel.
Yeah, he was there for a long time.
Yeah, he was.
So you go there as a freshman, redshirt, and then you start as your freshman year, right?
Yes.
Like, were you the opening game one starter, or you had to take over? What was that like?
The opening day one. So we, Coach Pinkel and I, we were his first recruiting class. Yeah. And he pretty much redshirted us all the kids in that class, and then we, you go through that summer and you do all the conditioning and camp and stuff, and like you don't know who's going to be playing, right? Quarterback, whatever, and then he tell you, hey, you got the nod. It was, I don't know if it was that week or like a few days before. It was like you don't think about
Yeah.
what it is. You just like, okay, just go and play the game.
Right. Right.
And we go and we open the day. We played Illinois, my first game.
Okay.
Yeah.
You remember the first game?
I don't remember the game itself.
Yeah.
I just remember special moments like going up and hugging my mom or
That's cool.
seeing them after the game and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's the stuff I remember. Like most games, like it's almost like a blur.
Yeah.
It's like you not black out, but it's like
You just.
you just flowing.
Yeah.
You're just flowing and whatever happens.
No, same here. I would black out, but from the other team.
You
from the helmet
forced
popping.
blackout.
Yeah. And from them taking me off the field. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened too.
Were you expecting to, like kind of going back, were you expecting the red shirt? Was that something that you were open to? I know like a lot of, sometimes it can be different for different recruits. Like were you going there expecting to play off the bat, or how did you sort of take that when they told you you were going to red shirt?
I didn't know what it was. I was all oblivious to the whole recruiting and college sports thing. Like I was with my mom.
Yeah.
Nobody around us had been to college, let alone play sports.
You were kind of the trailblazer.
So there was like, well, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
like what is red shirt? So you mean I just work out and practice, and then
Yeah.
like I can eat,
Yeah.
and then, like do everything. And I wasn't tripping. Like I just got a chance to get better, and I don't have to play.
Yeah.
I just being not understanding the whole thing kind of worked in my favor. It was like I was just kind of like, this is what it is.
Right.
There's no ego or anything to go along with it. And
I feel like back then is a little more normal now, or like a little more normal to redshirt.
Yeah.
Kind of like right now, people want to go in, play,
yeah,
transfer next year or something. Right.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, if I redshirting, like I guess it's probably like I feel like I'm good. I'm better than
Yeah.
this guy. Like I'm gonna play right now, but it's like taking that year and really absorbing the system and getting your body in a different position. I mean, and also I was 17.
You're
when I
young.
was, yeah, I was
Wow.
17. So my whole freshman year, it was pretty much 17 years old.
Basically a high school kid.
Yeah.
No way.
So yeah, so it really worked in my favor.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember any of your stats from college or not, but I'm going to throw some your way.
Okay.
I'll have Greg comment on these because these stats are pretty – like if these stats happen now, it would be getting a lot of publicity and talk, right? So,
NIL deals galore.
oh, man. Yeah.
Go back in time.
Go back in time. The old NIL. Yeah, but for real.
Yeah, no, I know, yeah.
So for those who are too young to remember Brad Smith or didn't see him play in college or in the NFL, like, go back and watch the highlights. Like I don't want to compare it to the Lamar Jackson type deal, but like those are the type of highlights it is, right? Just making people miss, throwing dimes. But anyways, at the time, I don't know if this is still, if he's the only player that's done it or if he was just the first player, but he was the first player in Division I history to have over 8,000 yards passing and 4,000 yards rushing.
I did know that.
Is that still true? Do you know? Has anyone broken that?
I'm sure they have.
I don't know who.
I mean, you think about like the
But
Pat White's, the
Pat White,
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but Lamar Jackson was like 3 and out, right?
Oh yeah, but he still might have did it in 3
Yeah,
years.
he was. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they're.
No, not Vic.
But he didn't. No, because
Yeah,
Vic was
he
before him. We'll think about it. But anyways, so the first player at the time, the only player when it happened to have 8,000 yards passing, 4,000 yards rushing in a career. The only player to have 2 separate seasons of 2,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. Like these numbers are like bonkers. And at the time, I think whenever that happened the first year, you're only the second player in history to have 2,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. Maybe Mike Vick did that before. I don't know.
I think I give Ratty props. I do know that one was Antoine Randall.
Antoine Randall, that's right.
Yeah,
he
was the
played at
first
Indiana?
one. Yeah, Indiana.
Yeah.
He was the first one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that goes to show like just how much of a one great athlete you were, but two how good of a quarterback you were. Like you want to just run around a little bit. You know what I mean? Like that's a persona. Like they think a good athletic quarterback. They think okay, he can run and he can throw when the pocket scrambles down. You don't throw 8,000 yards in 4 seasons. You know, by not being able to process the defense and throw the ball. But anyways, like Greg, when I say those numbers to you, like as a defensive player, you're going up to play Brad Smith. It's his junior or senior year. Like, what's popping through your mind whenever you like, damn, okay.
Yeah, we're probably trying to keep you in the pocket, big dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Trying to keep you in the pocket, get a good couple blitzes on you, maybe mix up coverage and stuff. It's funny you said like it seems like you were kind of just going with it, like you just playing for the love of the game. I wonder, did you ever like through your success, did you ever develop like that sort of like we call it a why or maybe like an ego? Like did you ever develop sort of like? Because I feel like I was sort of on that tune, like sort of like, hey, I'm coming from Nacogdoches, didn't really know what I was doing. Like as you progressed and as you had the success through college, like did you develop that ego or that like that why, that thing that was driving you and trying to get you to the league?
No, not in like even in college, it was more like this intrinsic thing of like I hate for you to be better than me. Or I hate that you're gonna beat me. I'm sure there was some emotional trauma as a kid that I went through that made me like,
do some therapy.
Strive for like validation or something.
Yeah.
You know, not from external but internal validation. Like I'm sure there's some stuff to deal with there. But it was
even through the 8,000 yards and the seasons and the success.
like because everybody was still better than me. Our team, like we didn't have the greatest record. We won games. You know, win 8 games and stuff. Go to bowls and you know, get hyped and highlights and stuff. But like he's still better than you, or they're you're not doing this. What I'm not doing. What I am. What I'm not. It's like people telling me what I'm not. Like that just triggered. Like it makes it just like it was like okay. I was gonna work hard anyway, but like you telling me, and if you line somebody up in front of me, I feel like you challenging me, and I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. Within the rules, and that was the motivate. That was enough motivator for me. I didn't need nothing else.
That was the mentality.
I remember talking before we get to NFL stuff. I remember we were talking a few weeks ago, and we were talking about running routes and this and that, or covering people. And you're like, "Yeah, it's all fun and games." So I put hands on you.
Yeah. Until somebody touches you, until it's like you feel that like
ain't no flags out here.
Yeah, there's no flags. You feel like playing against offensive linemen. It's cool to have this cool, pretty technique until like he
come checking your chin.
Yeah, you get chin checked, and then it's like you either gotta buck up or just get your butt kicked. Yeah. And that's like, to me, that's football.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes less of this fun. It's fun. This less of this like idealistic, pretty ball people throwing passes. Oh, these drills and running and cutting. It's like that's what it comes down to. You're willing to hit or be hit, and whether you're a quarterback, receiver, or whatever. Like that's to me, and that's the fun part. It's like avoiding getting hit or to run you over.
And then one thing, because I didn't really pay attention to football back then. Like, who were the quarterbacks sort of like that you were comparing yourself to? Like, who was in that time back then?
Like Matt Leinart, Vince Young,
Jason White,
Reggie McNeil, Aaron Rodgers. But he wasn't huge then.
Yeah.
He was just always Aaron Rodgers from Cal.
Yeah. What are the Big 12 quarterbacks? That's when Mizzou was still in the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, it was like Oklahoma was like Jason White. Yeah. Texas was like it was like Major Applewhite. Chris Sims, Vince Young.
Chance Mock
Chance Mock. Then if you go to
who's
Oklahoma's Jason White and another dude.
Paul Thompson? Was he?
No, that was way later. But yeah, they had really good.
You got a bunch of them big though. You got a bunch.
No, the quarterbacks. Yeah.
What other schools? Kansas State was like L. Roberson.
Yes. Oh,
Michael Bishop. Yep. Michael Bishop was 4, but L. Roberson.
Oklahoma State had
Darren Sproles.
Bobby Reed. Was that name? Bobby? No.
Probably.
Am I tripping? Whenever Mike Gundy said my man come after me.
That was later.
I was there.
Yeah, we're a little bit. I think we're a little before that. What other schools are there? Baylor was. Not Robert Griffin.
No, he wasn't.
Sean Bell.
Oh yeah, he was my coach.
I think he's coaching.
He was coaching on rule staff. Yeah, he sure was. They played the pick of him doing the horns down after he scored.
Oh, nice.
Eric Crouch.
I can't forget. Oh, Nebraska. That's when Nebraska was, or they were just getting done being the team.
Yeah,
right?
They had Colorado. They didn't have much.
But they had who was their running back?
Bobby Purify.
Okay, Purify. Was Chris Brown the running back there too?
Chris Brown. Chris Brown. So I mean, it was just a lot of the Big 12 was like what the SEC
is now.
Is now. Yeah, it was like that's the conference you got to go through to win the national championship. And I mean, Adrian Peterson's and the Texas and the. Everybody was loaded then. So
that's when Texas was like running 10 games every single year.
Yeah. So we got they beat Missouri. We go to Texas and they're like, oh, you should you go win, go beat Texas. I'm like, they have like 50,000 like D1 like first round draft picks like they were good.
That's when they were DBU too.
Yeah.
Right?
Michael Griffin, Michael Huff.
Boy wasn't playing.
No,
Pass
they
him,
weren't playing.
yeah.
Mike Williams, all those guys. Jamal Charles.
Speaking to that, man, what was your like? I know you had a lot of moments in college, like we talked about. But like, do you have one or like one game or one play that like sticks out to you, like your favorite, or were you just blacking out on boys out there?
I was
playing
blacking
games all night?
Yeah.
just going silly.
Yeah. I can't say I have a favorite. Like my last game, we were down at half, like 27 at half, and we came back and won that game.
Against who was that?
South Carolina.
Wow.
Spurrier.
Yep.
Last game,
Last game.
you like that's how we go.
that was a good like.
Yeah,
That
little
was-
cherry on
that
the
was
top.
good cherry.
Yeah.
That was the way to end it.
Last question before we move on to some NFL and some combine, because you just mentioned South Carolina.
Yeah.
Do you still keep up with Mizzou football? Like you watch it?
Absolutely.
Do you remember? It was probably in 2010, you remember the quarterback Connor Shaw for South
Yeah.
Carolina? Do you remember in South Carolina came to Mizzou, and they were down like 14 or 21-0 in the fourth quarter, and
Yeah.
Connor Shaw led the comeback win?
Yeah, I do remember
guy's a
that.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dog is a dog. It's not the
Dog,
intent.
yep.
It's not those big arm, all that. Like
Mhm.
you just got the job done.
Yeah. But anyway, so let's move on to the NFL Combine. And it's like Combine real quick. You said your fourth-round pick.
Yeah.
Greg has all your numbers memorized as far as like what you performed at the Combine, right? You do have those memorized.
I looked at. I go.
You look
yeah,
good,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But you have a
You did
photograph of
you
me.
did a 10-8 for the broad. I think you did like a 7 flat or maybe like a 6-9 for the cone, 3 cone. I don't know what your 5-10-5 was, but you ran like a 4.46.
Absolutely.
And his vertical was
disappointing.
you already say his vertical?
I didn't know. I
It
didn't
was
see the vertical.
39.5 was the vertical, which is
Okay, boys was
Freaky,
jumping back then.
You feel me?
so he beat you. He beat your broad jump.
Yeah, by a long shot.
Yeah.
But you got me by like 6 inches.
What was
I think.
you was 10-2?
I did 10-2 at my pro day.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not 6'5" either.
I'm not 190 either.
213 to be exact.
Yeah. So and you said you were running 4.3s before.
Yeah, so it was disappointing.
Yeah.
It was disappointing. Even you do it in the spring, but
Yep.
you go at your school and you're running 40s for your training, like Fridays, like test
Past
day,
Fridays.
and you're running 4.34s and 4.36s, and then you go to train. Went to out to API in Arizona, and you running in the 4.3s. So it's like that's
Gonna
just
run in
that's just
4.3,
I'm just
yeah.
a
Yeah.
I can run a 4.3, and all the different things that go into the combine, the stress, the waking up, the nights, and
Mm-hmm.
all of that, and you go out there and you run a 4.46. It was just disappointing. And then all the cone drills, I was like that 5-10-5 of running the threes, but you run a 4 whatever it was. It was like
Yeah.
just disappointing
Yeah,
because you could do better.
Yeah.
And so you go to pro day and you do all those things, but it's not as when you look it up. It's like that's
Yeah,
not
it's
what
the
they put on
combine
there.
numbers,
It's
yeah,
combine
yeah.
number. So
Yours it was 2006, right? That
Yeah.
was your.
Mhm.
Do you have any idea how many guys ran the 4.3s? Do you have any?
out of all the
out of-
just people in general,
Yeah,
or
just at the
quarterbacks?
combine. So not the pro days. No, not quarterbacks. Just
Okay.
just
Everybody.
everyone. What would your guess be?
It's
in
like, what was it back then?
2006?
About 300 people?
Yeah.
250, something like that?
Yeah,
I say like
253.
back then, they weren't burning back then. Maybe like, I'd go 15.
Okay.
I was
10,
gonna say
15.
between 20 and 30.
Okay, there were 6.
Oh.
Yeah. And I could be. I looked this up and I double checked. So for any geeks out there, if I'm wrong, like just let me know. But there were 6 in 2006. 6 that ran the 4.3s.
What?
How many do you think ran in the 4.3s
Oh.
in 2022?
It got to be now 30,
Yeah,
40.
yeah. Up 15,
Yeah.
20, something like
Yeah,
that.
31 in
Yeah.
2022.
That's
And
crazy.
3 ran the 4.2s.
That's
Insane.
crazy.
That's a testament to our guy like Les Spellman doing
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
incredible work. Another really
Technique,
good
yeah.
speed guys like that just do
Yeah.
incredible
Just the
work.
evolution of training.
It's
in general.
incredible.
That's
Yeah.
why it's so impressive. Even like you're disappointed, but for with the training that y'all
Like, you
probably
were
getting
the
back
fourth-
then, they
yeah.
weren't. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna blame the testing tools too. I think they must have changed something.
They probably did.
They probably
no, I'm
did.
just kidding.
No,
Like,
they probably.
not my time.
We don't want
was-
no Brad to
My
go.
time
We
was
don't want
wrong. It was wrong.
We trying to get Brad at round 4. We don't
Yeah,
need
that's
him
what they were doing.
The
back
Jets
then.
messed you up on
That's
purpose.
conspiracy
Starting the
theory.
clock
We need to
late,
start.
yeah.
They were really trying to hold us back.
It is incredible how like there's just so many great combine trainers out here now. Like,
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, and the times are crazy fast. But anyways, that's a whole different topic we could talk about. So anyways, you get drafted in the 4th round. You go in. Did you get drafted as a quarterback, or they tell you because once you got drafted, for those that don't know, you played more receiver, kick returner, running back, Mr. Everything type deal.
Yeah.
Did you know that going into before you got drafted, like the meetings with teams or whatever? Did they talk to you about that, or were you thinking it was going to be as a quarterback?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of the guys, they have the meetings like at the combine. They have a ton of different meetings.
Yeah.
Sit down with scouts and talk about things. I really didn't have many. I may have one, and I don't remember the team.
Okay.
So you go through those, and then like after the combine, you have like these workouts, right? So, 3 or 4 things, like 4 different teams came to Missouri and worked me out. So I was just throwing, right? I was on all the throwing, drops, and talking about quarterback stuff, and it was like, okay, that's just this is what's gonna happen. You hear all the possibility you're athletic, you could do other things, but it was like I was just throwing. So you get to the draft day, and it's like you hearing the call, or your agent's like, hey, they're thinking about taking you here. Like, I don't remember the team names, so I won't say them so
Sure,
it's not
sure.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they're gonna take you here, and there was no discussion of like what position. It was just assumed.
Was it assumed?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so it was like maybe 2 or 3 teams like in those early rounds that were like, oh, they're thinking about taking you here. Be ready, have your phone ready, and that's a different story about the disappointment.
So my God, me too.
Yeah, so I'm like,
why would you call me?
Why just don't tell
leave
me
me
that
alone.
that's going to happen. I was like, so you get your mindset to go there. And then the Jets, call, and then they're like, we're going to take you with this pick. There was no, would you want to come? It's like, you really come and you do whatever we ask you to do, type thing. We see you can play doing multiple different things. You play quarterback. You do. And it was kind of like,
Right.
you just come do, whatever. Because Eric Mangini was the coach, and he was like that Bill Belichick disciple. So he was like wanting to find versatile guys who could do whatever. And that's just kind of how it started.
Was there any disappointment in that? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was like you believe in yourself and you put in the work and you had some level of success, and I feel like with the right coaching and development that I could do a lot of good things and I can excel. So like that, just letting go of that, like it's painful. Like that dream.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, like I feel like I could, and then it comes like you either.
And this comes like with the success.
Oh yeah, it's like getting drafted.
So
It was
like
like,
a
oh man,
sword.
it was like you're happy, but at the same time, it's like, man, like that was my, became something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so
That's all you did too.
that's all I did. So
Yeah.
I didn't know
It
that.
wasn't like
you
you
never
did
played
2 in
nothing
college.
Yeah,
right?
I
It was
didn't
just
know
like-
what special teams was. Like I was like, that was just the thing they did before we got the ball, like kicking the ball off. Like, all right, so or punting. I was like, he's talking on the sideline. You go out there, we got the ball back.
Yeah.
So it was like you had to really grow up in that moment and be like, I could sulk in it and be like, man, I don't want to do this, or have an attitude and not play. And I was like, man, it was a moment where it's like I get to play football at the highest level.
Yeah. 8 seasons that.
9, you had to play 9. Like I get to play it, and like so I can complain about it and not make the best of it, or I can just see where it goes.
That man, that's such a mature attitude. Like that attitude led to your success in your 9 seasons, and you're over 1,800 total combined yards, just being able to do everything right. If you were a quarterback right now, and you're Mizzou, the same stats, same everything happened. 2023 drafts rolls around. Do you think it's different now as the quarterback position has evolved and we have different systems, different schemes in place, and people more open-minded? Do you think you're going as a quarterback now, and there's a chance that you could be developed? And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a question. Also, like if I was playing in college now, like leading up to getting drafted, the training, like you said about the training for the combine has changed. Like the training for the quarterbacks has changed.
Right. So
like I had no training.
Yeah.
Going into college, and our coaches did a really good job helping us understand schemes and stuff like that, but understanding footwork,
like
mechanics, the biomechanics that you work with these throwers on, and shoulder levels and feet, and using your glutes and rotating and arm slots and all that kind of stuff to help you become more consistent at things. I just didn't know.
Right.
That would have been the major difference.
Yeah.
It's me being trained in those areas. And now you combine that with, athleticism and, other stuff, then I think it just makes it – because it's hard to do, like, learn it, like, you didn't know it, and then now, hey, go learn, do this.
Right.
Because NFL, you go in there, they're like, there's no training
that
goes into it.
Yeah.
Like, the expectation is, like, you either can do it or you can't.
That's why you're supposed to be ready when you get here type deal.
Yeah, it's like we're not gonna teach you.
I was gonna ask you and two, just it's like speaking of that, like back in the day, it was like if you had a black quarterback and he was an athlete, like it was almost assumed, like the guy Pryor from Ohio
Terrell
State,
Pryor,
go straight to receiver. It was almost assumed. There was another dude I want to say he might have been from Missouri, like way after you. He had dreads. He was for Michigan. If you remember,
Denard
Robertson.
Yeah. Like so I feel like like back then the stigmatism was like, oh, what I'm saying, they can't really play quarterback at this level, but they're athletic enough and we can shift them. Like as the game, like obviously with Lamar and Pat and Dak and all these black quarterbacks, like how do you feel about the shift of the league and sort of like I guess the mindset that goes with being specifically a black quarterback, right?
It goes way back before that too. Doug Williams being kind of the big one, but he was a pocket guy, passer. Then you keep going. You got Randall Cunningham, big athletic guy, but he was so exceptional at throwing and running. He just kind of superseded like all the other. There was no questions. It's like you had to be exceptional at something. You just couldn't be average. Like, he's a good quarterback. He makes great decisions. Like that would be like, we can't find anybody to do that. If you were an African American quarterback, it felt like, and I think the consensus, like I think a lot of people felt like you had to be exceptional. You had the exceptionally strong arm, or you were exceptional runner, and that's how you got accepted. I think as the game progressed, and then you got like Antoine Randall Els, and he's a runner. The L. Robersons, the Michael Bishops, the Eric, even Eric Harris, even though he's white, it was like he's a runner. Then I came along and Vince's situation, like I give so much credit to his coaching staff for helping him, putting him the best possible light as a passer, like to his skill set. But they highlighted that so he wouldn't just come off as only a runner, and then could use his running ability. The game has transitioned from that, like these design runs, to being able to process a defense as a quarterback. RPOs have really changed the game to where it's not like, for me it was, hey Brad, run left, run right, quarterback draw. Like that's how you get your runs in. And then when we throw it, we're throwing it almost. And then you could, if something broke down, then you can go. But it's like the expectations, like when you throw it, when we call a pass play, it's designed to be thrown. When it's like we'll call the runs when we want you to run. So when it transitioned from kind of like you go be a runner and then you're a thrower to now they're more integrated with each other. Then the Bryce Youngs, the Terrell even got a little bit of that stigma of like design runs, but like the Troy Smith, Braxton Miller. But even now you see Bryce Young, you see how he plays. It's not like a lot of design runs. It's how to buy time with your legs to push the ball down the field and to threaten the defense. Now the more of the threat is like you have to cover the pass, and when you do, then I'm taking off. And that's become like the norm.
That's what every quarterback has to be regardless.
That's what everybody has to do. When you have that athleticism, now you can really take advantage of it. When before it was a lot of like, just go be an exceptional athlete that can throw. It's like now you're a quarterback who can run. I think that's what the game is.
I think that goes to, we've talked about this before, that goes to like you hear a lot of people say this player's hit his ceiling, this player's capped, but no one says like the coach has hit his ceiling to coach this player, right? Like, I think that's like
that point you brought up with Purdy the other day.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like, I think that goes back to kind of the topic y'all were just talking about. Like, no one was it was like, okay, there's a limit, as opposed to, hey, maybe I should just be a good coach and try to get the best out of this player, regardless.
You can't teach what you don't know. Like, I can't teach a certain squat method because I don't know it. I haven't studied it, or I haven't done it. Or I don't even have a vision of what I want it to look like. So like a lot of coaches don't really know. They are good at what they know. But it's like, but then you said there's a cap they hit their ceiling as well. It's like, man, I can't get him past this point just because I don't know it. So being, just as young coaches and young trainers, is like you're gonna hit a point where you don't know, and that's okay. It's like, then are you too prideful to be like, hey, can you help me? Help me understand. I'm going to go learn this and that, and I'm willing to adopt new philosophies to help me, understand how to do it better. But to say, like, hit your ceiling and then say, oh, no, it's him.
Hit a ceiling, let's move a position, as opposed
to position, or he just can't do it. That's a topic we could probably just keep talking on and on about. But so to your NFL career, right? Great
great time with the Jets, Bills, and ended with the Eagles, correct? Right. So, and kick returner was several thousand yards, and as returning kicks, almost 2,000 yards with receiving and running. So a great NFL career. And we have some stuff to kind of, I want to come back to that eventually. We got some questions at the end, but let's talk about what you're doing after football now, because a lot of times, the football player, or at least the outside looking in, they only talk about the football side of things. But like that was, NFL was 9 years of your life. You're going to live to be 139 probably, right? Once you start training with reach.
At least.
Yeah. So
get that 4.3.
Get that 4.3 back.
Retest.
4.2 now. Hey,
now we're training.
Hey, we'll send you to Cali with those Spellman. He'll get you there.
Hey, man, whatever it takes.
But
I'm trying to get back in with Tom Brady.
get
come
some
on.
of this money.
Yeah.
So now, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing after football now, because some really cool stuff, like stuff that aligns with us. Like you have a great nonprofit you're doing, and you're doing a lot of great coaching, and some other cool stuff that I'll let you get into, so I don't butcher everything, and then we'll kind of chop it up about that.
Oh, that's not much, man.
It is a lot, by the way.
Really downplay yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
It really.
Come on now,
it's
bro.
really not.
That's acting like Brandon, right?
Talk your ish, right?
Yeah.
So, like my second year in the league, my wife and I, we wanted to find a way to give back and find a way to help people. So we started a foundation called the True Foundation. It's based on kind of a scripture, and it was actually an old gospel song.
I
So
know
it's
gospel,
called "I'm Working on the Building." It's a true foundation.
Okay.
And there's more words to it, but so we took that old school gospel song and turned it into the name of our foundation. So
Cool.
a true foundation, a faith is the true foundation, and really building that, helping kids build that true foundation. So we started off with camps. That was 13 years ago.
Okay.
So camps, and we get a few hundred kids, and we take them through football stuff, and then boys and girls, and then we'll split them up and do a life skills session. Just talking, we're bringing in professionals from different industries to talk to them about opportunities, about this is what you can be. In Youngstown, Ohio, you just don't see people doing things you only think I can be the big things. I can be a doctor, lawyer, athlete, or a singer. Those aren't things you can attain. And other than that, I don't really have a chance to make have a lot of success. But the people who entrepreneurship, working at medical sales that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year,
Right.
Marketing, all those different areas that you can get into that you can have success with. So we try to bring people in to kind of show them that. Then we would do STEM classes and fun things about science and virtual reality and all those different things, just to expose them to it. Along with the football training and, give away a bunch of stuff. So we, did that for years and years and years. Then, we moved here and we started it's called Godspeed. It's a 7-on-7 organization, which is football, where it's basically what we used to do in practice for 10 minutes has become this huge national phenomenon of competition, like the AAU of football now.
Right. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. So we started an organization to, we help kids, we train them, and then we put teams together. They can go compete and really work on their skills in the off season to prepare them for the fall. And we do college visits. We take that same kind of formula and bring people in to talk to them about opportunities and internships and try to really connect them for life after football.
And there's several other NFL guys you do that with, or former NFL players that you do that with, right?
Yeah, a guy named Brett Milliken. He's Indianapolis coach, Georgia Bulldog. Aaron Williams played with Buffalo, UT. College guys, Joey Card, Tim Gay, Marcus Knocklis. A lot of guys who just give of their time. A few other dads. Call him AK-47. His name is AJ Kukla and
That's
Paul
a cool
Smith.
nickname.
Yeah,
what's my nickname?
I think he's 47. Your name's Stefan.
Stefan
Hemer.
Hemer.
But we got these guys, and we just we try to, a lot of these organizations will charge you thousands and thousands of dollars, which it really costs that much for the training and travel but we try to keep it at minimum cost, just to cover, their uniforms, and guys just come and pour into them faith-wise and technique-wise, and help them get better. So it's some of the things we do.
Does that go hand in hand with the other project I'm working on? Is that project you can say out in public, or is that just in the DL?
It's not hand in hand, but it ties into it. So just helping athletes understand life after football, life during football, and your whole sports life cycle. We are working on a big project on really making it easier and helping people understand what to do and how to navigate that world. So we're excited about that coming up.
That's gonna be cool. That's coming out soon, or
yeah, hopefully in the next few months we're able to introduce it to everybody.
Yeah,
but we have to, we're working out the details and making sure it's right so people can actually use it and be functional.
I want to go back to the foundation a little bit, just and for those that don't know, Brad's like he's coaching every weekend. He's like, he's in the fields doing everything, right? He's in the trenches doing everything. There's a lot of ways to help. Whether some people can donate, but they don't have a lot of time, so they can't get into it. But you're actually like doing the work and doing that. Did you always anticipate doing that? Is that because of whatever your upbringing or your playing career that you just want to be doing that? Like, why do you feel led to kind of contribute that way? Obviously, you have a son and family, but
just being a kid, and my mom sacrificed so much, and she never let me take anything from anybody. Somebody tried to give you $20 because it looked like you were struggling. Like, yo, you need this money. Like, you know what I mean? Take it. And then if she saw that I would take it, she would take it and give it back. Like she was like, you don't take anything from anybody. Just a heart of just being a hard worker and not giving up on yourself to where you become dependent on somebody else's help. Yeah. That you stop striving to get yourself out of the situation. So just her toughness and her heart, pushed me to help. Okay, there are people who actually need help, right? That just don't have the resources, and that pride gets in the way. Yeah, that pride won't let you accept that help, right? That was like, man, I don't want it, or I really want to do this, but I'm not going to say I need a ride. Yeah, I can't. Or I'm not going to say I don't have the gas money, or we don't have a car, or our car doesn't work, or I got to work 2 jobs. The passion came from I don't want people to miss out because, they were too prideful, which is good. Like you want to too prideful to lose out on help or just don't even know the resources there. Right. So finding ways to empower. Right. And provide. Yeah, that's good. That's just kind of been the way we try to do it.
I got one more kind of serious question, but it's not.
Sorry, I didn't see a ring on your finger.
Yeah, I'm married, brother.
I know.
He's
congratulations.
Hey, I just had my first year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations. All right, man. I got new respect for you. I ain't really respect you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you got the wife and kid.
Yeah, okay. We
out here in the trenches with us.
We out here. We go. We out here.
Yeah, he's one of us. Don't worry.
He's married.
It took me a while. I came over to the dark side.
All right. We good now.
Shout out to Fabi. Love you, baby.
All
right. But I was going to speak because I kind of what ended my career was an injury, and I know you signed once you signed your second contract, about 2 years in, you had the bad injury. I don't know what it was specifically. Yeah. But then you sort of bounced back and got back with the Eagles, finished on your terms, it seems like, from outside looking in. Like, we deal with a lot of athletes that go through the sort of injury thing, maybe baseball or football, whatever. And I don't think that it's spoken enough as far as the mental side of it. So it's like, could you speak to that at all? Like, how did you bounce back? Like, you're in the midst of living the dream. You just signed your second contract, which as NFL players, we know, like, that's when, okay, I've made it. I finally got here. Yeah. And then, boom, you get hurt. And then you get cut. But you bounce back. So could you just speak to that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. There is no easy way about it, but it's what's your foundation? You have a real firm foundation, or are you life built on sand? So my faith in Jesus was, like, not to sound cliche, that's what sustained me, even though it was hard. But, some practical things, like, you got to understand the situation. Like, you sign this big contract, they owe you a lot of money. They find a way to get out of it and, feel like they have some cheaper options, and you won't be available for a while. It's like, it's a good time to do this. So, getting hurt and being out for, 6 weeks, 7, at the end of the preseason, it's like, okay, we're not getting our money worth. Just the business side of it was like, so understanding the reality of the situation is like, it really is a business. It really is, a numbers game and all that kind of stuff that goes into it. So you really have to take that and be realistic with yourself about how it works. Yeah. And then as you're navigating it, like, when you get healthy, it's like, what value do you bring to your team, whether it's college, pro, high school? It's like, what value do you bring there? Are you able to do one thing, or if you only can do one thing, that one thing better be amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, or we'll find somebody else that can do what you do at a better price and in a better situation, better age, or something's better. So just understanding, okay, what are people looking for? Where's their situation, and how do I fit in it? Like, so me, it was like, I can be your second or third quarterback. I can return punts, kicks. I can play receiver. I can do all these things. So like, that brought me value to help me to
you had a niche.
to stay longer and still contribute. So just understanding, like, if I'm a D tackle or a D end, it's like, can I only rush? So if I'm just a pretty good rusher, I'm not exceptional. Like, do I do the other things well? Can I play special teams? Can I stop in my great run stopper then? Like, what can I do that provides value? And some people think, I want to be a pass rusher. I want to be this. It's like, well, they can find a lot of those.
That's
They
wisdom.
find a lot of those. It's like, what else can you do?
Yeah.
What else can you do?
So in a practical way, you sort of set yourself up to bounce back from just being like willing, sort of like what you spoke to coming out of the draft, like being willing to like immerse yourself in like whatever the team needs.
Yeah.
However I can build value.
Yeah, it was like, man, they don't need me, but who needs me and the skill set that I have, and who can use it? And then I didn't get hurt again, like the next. Like after my second year in Philly, and got the same situation, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. But like, you just gotta understand, be true to who you are, understand who you are,
Right.
and then be able to, okay, now you can't give what you don't understand about yourself. Like when you come to full understanding, like, this is what I actually can provide, and find somebody who matches that up, and things become a little bit easier. And then there'd be a point where nobody wants what you have. And it's like,
he send you out the pass.
it's like, okay, okay. So now who am I outside of football?
Yeah. I hit that point a little quicker than y'all did, fellas.
Yeah.
But
it happens for everybody.
It does, yeah. It's undefeated.
okay, Brad. So we got a few questions. Most are pretty serious questions, I think. Somewhat serious, I guess. It's supposed to be rapid fire.
Okay.
But, I mean, there's no rule enforcer here, so take as long as you need to. All right, so questions. These questions are from some of the high school athletes we train, some of the high school coaches around here, and this from us in general.
Okay.
So it's going to be just a variety of different ones. So did you play any other sports in high school? If so, what did you play, and when did you decide to just play football, if you made that decision at all?
I played football and basketball from my whole life, from little league all the way up through high school, my senior year. So I didn't know much about baseball, and we couldn't afford it, so that wasn't an option. And it was cold in Ohio.
Yeah.
So even when I got to college, we'd play intramural leagues and stuff like that, basketball. So just played basketball, still play basketball.
Yeah.
So football and basketball were my two.
Who do you think would win a game of basketball, me or Greg?
Greg.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
Who would win in a game, me against you, but you can't drive? Neither of y'all can drive on me. Y'all can just shoot.
And you can drive?
Of course. Yeah, but y'all can't, like, it's unfair if y'all back me down.
So
that's not driving, though.
You can't back me. You can drive, but you can't back me down. You can't just, like,
Can't
throw
put
an
our
elbow
body
on
on
me.
you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Like
you think?
And I'm the ref. I'll call fouls.
So me against you?
Yeah.
Traveling.
With all due respect.
Yeah. All right, you against Greg. You against Greg.
Why would he pick me?
I mean, if we had to. I mean, I never bet against myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just I can beat Greg. So anyways.
Oh, you can beat Greg?
Yeah, I can beat
Yeah,
Greg. Yeah.
no, you cannot.
This is not the time or place.
Yeah, for truth.
Yeah. Hey.
Honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, Stephon.
I mean, there's no
true
way of knowing
foundation,
until you really get out there.
Yeah.
He does not want.
Yeah, you don't want this
He's been talking about it for months.
Okay,
He
just
don't
been
wanna
won't get out there. You
Let's
put a
do,
hoop right here.
what's that thing you do? What's the little shooting game, like pig?
Horse?
Horse? Yeah, there you go.
I can play
That's
horse,
what you
too.
want to play. Whatever. Anyways, next question.
All right, next question. Sorry about him, crowd. The 18,000 people watching us. I think you kind of answered this question throughout the whole kind of interview, but if you can do one sentence to answer this question, what did it take to get you into the position that you are in now, including your whole career and the position you are in now? What allowed you to get there?
With God, all things are possible.
That's
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, here's a good one. I know this answer just because I did my research and kind of looked it up. How were you in school academic-wise?
Oh, I read this too. Yeah, you did your thing.
I did like 3 something.
You were like all academic.
Yeah,
Big
you were all
12.
yeah, so something.
He's like,
See how modest
just
he
blacks
is?
out
I
the
don't
classroom
know. I was just blacking out on these on this algebra.
Been waiting for this test.
Oh,
I can't wait. 3 times 2 is 6.
You gonna line
Hey,
up
man,
across from me?
Statistics. Oh, shit. Statistics? No, the statistics. They beat me. Statistics beat me.
Yeah.
Stat 101. Whatever
I can
505. It was 505.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Math is hard.
I can see Brad like looking at the teacher, like taking it personal. He's about like the teacher's about to give Brad the test. He's like, "Well, you don't know I'm a killer." Oh,
Hey,
I'm about to
He came in with the eye makeup.
I ain't even gonna lie, man. That 8 a.m. art class.
Ooh, man. I know that was hard to get up
Did
on.
you go to it?
I went.
Good for
I
you.
went
'Cause
to all of
I know
them.
he wouldn't.
I went to, and I could
You
not
got to
stay.
go the first few weeks.
I don't
Coach stopped
remember
checking.
a day that I stayed awake.
Yeah, no. And that's the best. The final teacher, like he understands. And
Oh, you understand the
like,
light?
I ain't going to make no noise in here, dog.
The lights are off, and this is one of the ones you just watch slides of paintings, and you learn about the
Beautiful.
history of each painting.
Oh Lord.
And I could look at it afterwards and study it. Oh,
Let me catch up on my sleep.
there was no option. But I did okay in school. I could have done a lot better. I always procrastinated
Yeah.
and didn't on papers and studying. Like I could have done a lot better.
Humble answer from a guy that was all academic Big 12.
100%.
I mean,
bro.
geez. Okay, so you had over 4,000 yards rushing in college, and we talked about your injuries at the NFL level that led to the NFL career being over with. But in college, you stayed healthy, at least no big injuries. How did you maintain longevity in college without any serious injuries?
I mean, a lot of this how you're constructed, like how you're made.
Yeah, sometimes that's the truth.
Like
Yeah.
I think it's just wiry and like pretty flexible.
Yeah.
So that helped with a lot of things. And then it was just hard work, like
Yeah.
just working extremely hard.
Staying in shape. And
Doing.
Did you work
something.
year round? Like, did you like?
Mhm.
Because I remember when I would go home for summer, man, that was my little 4 weeks. I'd be off. Like, did you?
you would come stay in Houston and work a little bit.
Yeah, but then I go to Tampa.
You're like, okay, I feel like I got a hard week of work. I'm
My
about to
boy
go.
Steve done got me right for a week. Let me take these 2 weeks.
He still thinks I'm
He
training
told
out
me
in
the worst.
Tampa.
When I was a kid, he was like, sometimes you need a break for your CNS, and that was my excuse.
My CNS acting
my
up.
brain. Bro.
Even say, Steve, little CNS day, brother.
I used to mess my roommates up too because I'd come back faster and strong. They'd be like, "Bro, what the hell did you do?" Nothing. I didn't do nothing at all.
I wish I would have taken that because I probably would have had bigger improvements.
Yeah.
But it was just a mindset of like I can't stop.
Yeah, no, that probably got you further than what I was doing.
I mean, obviously, like you did well for yourself. So yeah.
That's interesting you said. This next question kind of is along those lines. It's not from us. It's from a coach. Did your weight training program positively or negatively affect your performance? Can you explain your position on the weight room in general for young athletes who think they don't need to weight train? Unless you're Jadeveon Clowney, you probably need a weight.
Yeah. I mean, there's some dudes that are just genetic, and there may be 1 out of 1,000, not even 0.01.
1 out of 20,000.
1 of 20, and you're not that one. Yeah. Even that person needs some strength.
Right.
So, like, you have to take full advantage of everything that can help you to perform at a higher level. Strengthening things, injury prevention. Even if you're really strong in something, like maybe you're not. It's not functioning the right way mechanically.
Right.
Things should be firing and triggering first that you're not using properly. That if you keep using it that way, you're gonna get hurt over time because you're overusing certain things or you're not as efficient as you should be. At the time, like what we knew was like you squat, you hang clean, you bench press. Even as a quarterback, it was just you doing all these things. And then like I wish I would have gotten to the functional stuff more.
Right.
I wish I would have had a Pilates. I've been doing Pilates my whole career to really build my core, and maybe I wouldn't have had a certain amount of injuries and been more efficient.
You think you have a mobile shoulder? Like you think if I assessed you right now, how's your shoulder move?
I think it moves pretty good.
Really? Okay.
Because I just used it so much.
I think we should try it after this. Let's see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Pre-game music.
Christian gospel, then it'd be rap. Like Lecrae was a big one.
I like Lecrae.
Cross movement back in the day.
I like the cross. Brad's my guy.
Lecrae's, twins.
Yeah.
What's up, Lecrae? Watch this video, dude.
Come on the pod.
Come on, Lecrae.
Come on the pod.
Gospel, little Fred Hammond.
Come on,
Little Hezekiah Walker.
Look, y'all completing
Little
each other's
Hezekiah
sentences?
Walker.
I like Hezzy not really before the game.
That's fair. Yeah.
Commissioned.
I got some gospel.
But it was more, and then I would listen to it, but then I'd be like, It would just like on the bus rides, I would be listening to that just to chill out, so I wouldn't. Because if I get worked up, like then I then like right before it, I'd have some music on.
Tupac.
Like I would listen to like classical. I listen to like there was a movie called August Rush. Remember that movie?
I know the movie. Yeah.
So there was like it's a song called
So funny.
It's called August Rhapsody, and it was just like a classical, like just like 5-6 minute song.
Yeah.
And it was just like calm me down,
Huh.
and like but at the same time it had this like thing where it crescendo up real high,
Yeah.
and it was like
Get your.
you get your,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like head banging.
What did you listen to before games?
Not crazy. Yeah, no, like
Little Ace Hood,
like
3-6
like
Mafia.
Savage Life 3, and just like the most like Zero, like
Yeah,
the
that's
just
our
the
guy.
most disrespectful and like. Because I was like super chill. I was like the opposite. I would be like super chill. Like my buddy Ira tells me a story. Like it was like our first game starting, and I look over at him like, bro, we really out here. Like we really made it. He's like, bro, leave me alone. Like I'm trying to.
Yeah.
So I would need stuff to kind of lock me in. So I would listen like anything that was like like very aggressive,
Yeah.
basically.
Get you going a little bit.
And
Yeah.
I love playing against people who will get all worked up because I feel like I had an advantage over you. Because every little thing that I would do, you would react to. So if I move this way, you're gonna overreact to that.
Yeah.
And then all we need is a little bit that I can move you because I like guys who were just so wired. It was like, oh
Yeah.
you try to take it. The little things you try to take advantage of.
Speaking of, you should type in Greg Roberts' fight against Iowa State after this.
Oh, he's fine.
Yeah, after this.
Oh man.
Brad, I was not the person. I wish I had somebody like you in my life.
You never-
This guy wasn't.
Was it on the field?
The police came
Yeah.
on the field to take him off the field against Iowa
Yeah, I
State.
got kicked out of the game.
Nice.
But anyways,
Hey man.
not a guy you want to.
Hey, yeah.
It was his fault.
The
also.
world needs dangerous people.
They didn't show that.
The world, yeah, and I'm glad he's on our
dangerous,
side. Yeah.
controlled people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need people who can
control
control the dangerous.
Yeah.
Then you could take care of the dangerous people who are out of control.
Yeah.
That's good. All right,
Right.
funniest teammate you ever had?
Brett Favre.
Oh, you got any story? You got any
Anything you can share.
Favre? Yeah,
I can
any
share.
story you can share?
Marquise Cole was another one. He was just like he's a comedian. He changed the whole organization of the Jets when he came. Like we went from having to wear suits and stuff on planes to we could wear whatever we wanted because he didn't want to wear anything. He's like he wore shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And it's like that's
If you can throw like he can, then
it was like he changed everything. So we'd been like an offensive meeting at one time. One thing that sticks out, and we'd be installing a play.
Yeah.
It'd be like we used to call it dagger. So you got the slot runs a go, the outside guy runs a 15-yard dig, this backside runs maybe a corner, and we got a hitch, we got a smash on the backside, dagger in the front. And so the coach is like going through, coaching points and how you run it, where the landmarks are. He's like, hold on, coach. Stops the meeting and goes on for like 45 minutes, just saying stuff, talking about just talking like he would take over a meeting and just start talking. It was like it was
About football?
about
or-
football,
Uh-huh.
and it'd be some stuff be football, and other stuff. And then he's like, you know what? We're gonna call this play knife.
It's like at the end of a 40.
Not yeah, like maybe it wasn't 40, but I was like 30. It's like knife. It's gonna be called knife because it's like a butter knife cutting through the defense.
And everyone's like, yeah, okay, Brett.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
it's called
Brett,
butter.
whatever you want
I'm
to call
not,
it, bro.
I'm not disagreeing.
But it was like just this. He's just
Random.
silly, random, like funny, like just
Yeah.
interactions were goofy, and like he was cool. He took the pressure off and lightened the room up, and like he simplified stuff so
Yeah.
much, like because he simplified it in his head so he can execute it. Now
Yeah.
when he simplifies it for everybody else, it was
Makes-
like you're just how you just having fun.
Even at the late stage of his career, he still had a rocket, huh? Like he was
Oh
able
man,
just to
he
freaking
it was just ridiculous. Because after we left us, he went to Minnesota. I
and just
think.
yeah.
And that's when he
yeah.
balled out.
That's when he balled out. Like we were like 9-0 or something. Started off. We were like we were rolling.
Yeah.
And then he
Finally
got
got a quarterback.
then he got hurt his shoulder,
Uh,
and everything just went
went down. Really.
like we were like
Back
that
when you could lay on the quarterback.
that team,
Yeah.
And
or
but
touch him.
Yeah.
he was a funny dude.
That's awesome.
Well, I don't know what everything else going right now. People think he's funny.
He was funny back
he
then
was-
in
yeah,
the locker room.
different.
Yeah, he was
you don't
funny,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't
know
know
him now. Yeah.
You know what's going to happen
Funny in a different
15 years down the road. No, yeah. Best athlete you ever played against?
Against
What about with?
With, yeah, any
With or against?
like just flat out
Just athletic, not like
not,
best-
not
yeah.
able to play.
yeah, but just you were just like,
Just athleticism wise, there would probably be two that I played with. Antonio Cromartie.
oh yeah, he could play too.
He could play. He could play. Yeah, he could play a lot. He could jump out the gym.
Just
Not
a,
bad.
yeah.
He looked like an alien anyway. The
Like,
long arms.
Yeah.
like freakish athlete.
Mm.
Then the guy, lesser known, his name is Eric Smith.
Okay.
He played at Michigan State, played safety, started for safety for like 7 years for the Jets.
Yeah.
Just explosive.
Yeah.
It's like you.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
like
Yeah, exactly like
Stephon.
mine.
But like explosive, fast, like just got that, like, oh
Pop to him.
my goodness,
damn.
man.
Yeah.
Like where'd you come from? Like, yeah, probably those two, that just off the top of my head.
Okay. Greg's coming at you 1-on-1. You're in the pocket. It's 1v1.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening? You can be honest. Like,
Yeah, bro. It's just talk your shit. You the guest.
I mean, he probably get me once. He probably sacked me.
Thank you for that, bro.
like you're looking at him coming
That's
your
what
way.
I'm
like,
looking at him
that's
coming
a-
my way, and I just get scared. Here he comes.
Right. Can't do nothing about that.
Hey, and sometimes you know,
Just freeze,
just
scared
gotta
of
give
headlight.
it up and just.
It's humble. If Greg is coming
other
my way,
times you like fakes goes in or
Yeah.
spins out.
I mean, there's other things that could happen,
Yeah.
which are likely, but
Probably
at
more
that
likely.
moment, I had to be like, man, here you come.
I'm gonna let him get one.
I'm gonna get.
He got one.
That's
on
my boy.
Brad's.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one.
see, I'm just trying to throw the ball as hard as I can as like shin, as I'm like
Just
running backwards. Just
trying
like,
to injure
yeah. I'm just trying to like flip him over or something.
If you step on this ball, you pop your AC.
Yeah.
Like leave me
So-
alone. Like I'm kneeling the ball.
Greg
out.
Roberts come for you. Not much you can do.
There's not much you can
Not
do.
much
All right, who's faster, me, Greg, or Brandon?
You.
Correct.
I don't understand how that's people's lot. Is it because
Hey.
I'm big? That's cool, bro.
I used to be the guy that everyone be like, oh, that little white kid can run. You know?
Yeah.
That's how I used to be. Now it's
Yeah.
just
That's
old
what
and frail.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
You're not old for real,
Well,
but
that's not what they have to say
frail.
about me.
you just for real.
Correction, you're not old.
Yeah.
Okay, so best advice for young fathers like me and Greg.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
How old are your kids?
10 months over here.
Mine's like
10
He's
months?
finna be 11.
11.
mine's like
It'll
two,
be 11.
a little over
11
two.
months. That's when we in.
2.5.
Three of my son is 76 months old. I mean, several things. Just enjoy it. Like, be present. Like, physically, emotionally, be vulnerable, to where they can see what a real man is,
Mm-hmm.
and not try to emulate something that's not real. I'll say model the type of man you envision them being, and then they.
Can you take that down so we remember? Or we'll watch it. Yeah.
You want to record that? they soak up so much of what you don't say, and then now when it comes out, like my son's 12, and like he's doing exactly what I modeled. Even the stuff I didn't say, the way I reacted, my expressions,
Yeah.
the way I treated certain situations, like that's how he learned how to do it. How he interacts with women, how he
Yeah.
interacts with his sister, his mom, is how he sees me do it. And it's like that's what he believes is right.
Yeah.
Because to them you're a
Superhero,
superhero.
yeah.
You are, no matter if it's Michael Jordan standing there, it's like, well, that's my dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you're great. Like, and I will listen to you, but like at the end of the day, like, he's the guy that I follow. So like, just really model it and be real conscious of what you're modeling.
That's good.
Because they
That's
soak it all in.
last one, Brad. If you had advice to give to a 17, 18-year-old Brad Smith, what are you saying?
You're more than enough.
Mm.
You're more than enough. Not what you do, not what people think about you, not how you perform,
Yeah.
just who created you
Yeah.
and why. You have more than enough value.
Yeah.
So, don't hang on what other people think.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good life advice. Man, well, this has been so fun. Where can people come kind of find the organization, and
Yeah.
what can they kind of do?
Plug
'Cause I want
yourself.
You can go to Godspeed,
to. Okay.
one word, 7v7 on Instagram, Facebook. You can find our foundation page if you want to help out
Yeah.
with what we're trying to do. TrueFoundation16.org, TrueFoundation16.org, and there's a little information tab. You can learn about everything we're doing, and you can, it's also a little donate tab on there.
Yeah.
There you
Come
go.
on.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Just those two areas. and,
Yeah.
I see us around somewhere.
Yeah. Come on.
Look for you see Godspeed somewhere on. Just come say hi.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, they're doing some great stuff. Thanks so much for being on, Brad.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
I appreciate
wrap.
what you
Yeah.
guys are
Thank
doing,
you.
man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nobody tells you guys, and you joke about the viewers, but like it's really a blessing what you guys
Wow.
are pouring into kids.
thank
and
you.
You don't expect to have notoriety from it. So I want to commend you guys
Thank
on all
you.
you're doing.
That's
Thank you,
kind of you.
brother.
We appreciate that, man. Appreciate you. Man.
Yep.